Hello, welcome to the ESA Cup. Today we have a few matches, exciting matches today. I'm joined here with Booble. I'm a hot Nix. Yeah, how are you feeling today, Booble?
I'm feeling good. We were kind of just a bit of spoilers. We were kind of robbed of a Penta match last week, but we get them this week, so we get to see really if they can sort of continue that sort of winning streak they had in the first week, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah, viewers definitely think that the winning streak will continue. As just quickly going to the predictions that we are live on Twitter: 67% for Penta and only 33 for Synergy. I mean, it's not the blowout that we saw. What is it? Last Playday on Friday, where there was like 90% match in predictions.
Yeah.
That was complete blowout for I don't remember who was playing then, but
I remember the first match. It was like 100% to MDF. People were very much in the MDF corner, and they did end up winning. So I guess everyone
yeah,
was fully right.
yeah. But we can lead to what matches are we going to play today? Of course, we're starting off so Senji versus Spencer Esports, then at 8:45, Ball Station versus Project 100, and then finally Yod Esports versus Tropics. Yeah, that's gonna be the matches, and one just jump straight into map bans, so we can start quite soon the match. Go for
Yeah,
that.
going into these map bans here, we are going to be seeing a bank to sort of to be this battlefield here, and that's quite interesting to me because Eternal Synergy actually did end up losing 7-5 on their first playday on bank. Penta, meanwhile, haven't played it, so that could suggest that Eternal Synergy have really gone back to the drawing board, have just been seeing what works, what doesn't, creating new strats, refining the things they were playing in that first matchup, but also gives Penta a lot of sort of material just to work off of to see the weaknesses of Eternal Synergy, and that could potentially spell their downfall in this match.
Yep, it could. I mean, I don't really know these teams how they play because although I've been observing, I haven't really gotten much research into like their past matches. So what do you think of that? Well, I just maybe search up something on our Wikipedia page.
Well, well, Penta has historically been sort of an aggressive team. They'll oftentimes do a lot of sort of drone work early on, a lot of setup, and then you'll just see a burst of aggression. And the thing with Bank is it's a very large map, so that kind of play style just doesn't really favor. Well, you're not really favored to win if you're doing that. You should always be proactive on those roam clears because if you aren't, you will run out of time. Simple as you'll either run out of time or you'll get flanked because you didn't bother to roam clear to begin with. So Penta are really going to have to sort of switch up their style here, and that's certainly doable for them. Potentially, they're even fired up by that forfeit loss they had to take last week. But at the same time, Eternal Synergy, again, they sort of didn't look too great on this. It was a close map, and it did sort of actually result in it was a very close match for ESG when they fought against Project 100 all the way back first play day of the group, but they still end up losing it. And I think it's very risky going back here, to be honest.
Yeah, well, see if that risk pays off, shall we? Going into bank when we are
Yeah.
ready to go here, as all players are in the lobby. Match is starting, and that's going to be an exciting one to observe and cast. Uh, Hopefully, we'll see some exciting bands as well as we're going into the band phase now.
Yeah, on these
First,
attacking bans, I will honestly expect something like the Nut getting banned, as she is just banned so often. It is an oppressive operator. I'll sort of hold off on the analysis of it until we get confirmation because I am very confident we are probably going to see a Nut ban here. And to start off, we'll actually get a Montagne ban, so that will sort of limit the roam clearing abilities of the attack. Montagne obviously has that full body shield. He can act as sort of a living drone, just moving around getting intel. But
yeah,
he's also very useful on that basement site for covering the plant as well. And that's sort of a key part of a lot of pushes is getting that diffuser down on the basement because it is very easy to hold after it gets planted down. And the second attacker being banned is actually a Ying. So Nook is on the board here. Ying, similarly to Monty, can be very useful in just facilitating that execute. It's a lot of she brings a lot of utility. It can be quite overwhelming for the defenders when it comes to that last 30 seconds. So no surprise to see these operators get banned, but we do sort of leave up very powerful operators like that Nook that has the nades. And speaking of powerful operators, Solace, a sort of a mainstay of the bans here. Very rarely get to see her played. She's incredibly strong. The ability to see those drones through walls can just give up so much intel on the attacking push. The guns as well are also very good. P90, SMG11, both fantastic weapons. And going into that final defensive ban, we're going to be seeing Mozzie, and this is a can seem like a bit of a strange ban, but when you consider facts like the nitro cell for denying the plant, like the 1.5 scope, just to add to that sort of killing potential, we've actually seen Mozzie's ban rate increase quite a lot lately, just because he can be that potent of a roamer.
Surely the drum work from the attacker is going to be quite liberating here. We had Souls ended up Mozzie. I was actually kind of surprised by the Monty ban at first. I mean, of course, on bank, Monty can be quite powerful, especially pushing downstairs through server. It's
Defenders,
really easy
protect
to
your bombs
clear
from being defused by
that
attackers.
position with him. But in very recently, he's not as picked on bank. I mean, Osa kind of filled in that gap of needing to push with a shield. I mean, if you get the wall there on server and get a nose shield there, it's really difficult to deal with it if you don't have a lot of C4s or impact nades. But we'll see. And ESG doesn't seem to be going for an Osa here. I mean, they're going
10
for
seconds left.
aggressive push with Maru, Lion. It's going to be interesting to see.
5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, this is very much a lineup that focuses a lot more on the roam clear than the execute itself. We're only seeing one piece of hard breach. You do have the secondary hard breach on that Amaru, but considering how aggressive they're likely going to be, you could potentially see that utility wasted immediately. But yeah, as you were saying, no Osa here, so they are going to have to sort of be attacking that site, I'd say, with a decent amount of time left, just because there's no sort of crutches you can use to facilitate that. As talking of time, Holorus just goes straight in that window on the Amaru, immediately starting that roam clear on the top floor. So far, they're finding no real objections here, passing all the way down main stairs and now going towards open area. Shooting down that default cam before just getting a little bit back into safety to drone themselves. And there's actually a Hodix. It's a very, very sort of bunker-focused defense here. All 5 on that basement, in fact. So this should be very, very quick for the attack.
I think I remember now this strat with mirror windows on site, where I think it was Uncooked got very angry about that strat. They're playing it a bit differently now, as there is a warden here with his MPX on blue stairs, but it doesn't seem that ESG is going for it, as Java already on main stairs, just pushed in a bit here, down, looking at this angle. No one seems to be pushing it now,
Attackers have located
as
a bomb.
drones come out, seeing where these defenders are situated.
Yeah.
Here. Oh, there goes Timo.
Just a really unfortunate situation there. The ADS is getting burnt out, or unless the nade was cooked to perfection just in that blind spot. But either way, the warden going down there is quite a big blow. Obviously, with the Ying being banned, he's not as pivotal to that defense, and they can still very much sort of respond to these attackers without just getting blinded and smoked and such. But still, that's one player going down early. That gives the attack a lot of room now to facilitate this execute. Soramasa on that sledge, just being very, very careful as they're not sure of any player in server, but Holorus, he's very aware of the player in garage, and well, that could be huge here if I believe it was Nestor on the Kayad down there isn't aware that he's been thrown out. That could be a free kill for the attack, and this sort of defense, it seems to be relying on that Kayad player there just to stop someone, be a bit of a surprise and nuisance there, just catch an attacker off guard. But if he's read into that, he will just die, simple as.
Speaking of people dying, Karma is taken out by Holrusu, who's already in vault, but gets taken out himself by Quivery on that Goyo. And now, final 20 seconds. What a nice shot from Nesto. His plant is going down by Spyro. Does go off of it because of that C4, but goes immediately back to it. No window here to. Oh wow, he just find the head. And that's the plan down. 1v3, Java left with 6 seconds left. Cannot do anything. Risk collects the final kill And it's the first round going to Penta.
Yeah, the angle's just not really being watched there by ESG. They had intel on the player in Garage. You even saw, you could potentially have identified that it was a Kaya there. To be fair, they only did just see his feet on that drone, but you still know there's a player there, and usually it would be something like an Aruni, something like a Kayad, with those sort of DMR type weapons to get those long angles, usually in that site setup. But ESG just paid no attention to that really long, those two holes that lead to that line of sight, and they get picked off early. Great kill as well from that mirror onto
Defenders
the Panzers.
protect your
Just
bombs from
completely
being
shuts down
defused
the
by
round for the attack,
attackers.
leaves the diffuser in no man's land, and the rest of the defenders just clean up from there on out. Very strong defense from Penta there, despite giving ESG so much space. Here though, we're on that second floor, and I doubt Penta will give as much space here. You tend to see a lot more sort of roaming presence here because really the site isn't that secure. You have the windows all across that northern wall. You can get into stock quite easily as well if it's not being actively contested. This mirror setup on Meeting though is interesting. Meeting oftentimes is sort of neglected by the defense, but here they're very much bigging it up as a power position that they're going to want to hold there just to sort of cut down the attackers on their approach.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
And Sarmeister also on the Nook. Kind of interesting I find it, as most of the time we see attackers going for a bit of a one-sided push on here, either from lobby or square, and that's usually what happens. And with that, it could be a bit of a play here with Nook to just go alone from the other position where people are not pushing and just cause some havoc there. But it doesn't
A
seem like
bomb has been located.
that's what is going on here. Is Sarmeister going into lobby? Gonna try to maybe sneak up this spiral staircase or maybe go onto marble. Not sure as of yet, because he's just on the drone, getting some information about the elevator player. That's gonna be Tiro on the warden. And now Sarmeister between his gadget, going to lobby, and it does seem like maybe he's going for marble, or maybe he's just gonna cook a nade up to Tiro.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine a nade is being thrown here, but that sort of indecisiveness from ESG is punished. Nesto takes on Holro, so that's your lion gone. One ping has been used as it's a run out, shut down by Spyro there. Quavery goes down quite early, potentially not all of those Wamai magnets being used up as Spyro taken down now from another run out. The defense getting incredibly aggressive here. Salmeister is still just trying to make these nades work in this lobby though. He's waited so long and he's just completely abandoned it now, going all the way over to open, potentially a rotate down to square, and the attack, you can tell now they are just panicking. They don't really know where to approach from. They send Sarmeister on that backstab, but Jawa, to be fair to him, does manage to pick up Tiro, and now there is a slight opening on this banana side.
There is, as there's only two people inside. Skarma is just returning to side, but now Jawa takes out another one. It's a 3v2 now with a minute on the clock. Jawa gets thinking out himself, now 2v2. By Karma here takes out the position that Tiro got killed on, as they may be not aware of Sarmeister going up marble, but he is joined by Exia, which is quite interesting. We would expect Nook to go alone from a side of the map, but it's a 2v2. You gotta refrag your teammate if that comes to it. But going up marble is gonna be quite difficult with that mirror window. They recognize that. We're rotating up to square now. Still 3 seconds left. Still, Exia has one breach left inside his pocket. He's gonna use it on the wall. Karma sitting on this shield. Just a few shots. He knows that where they are coming from now. Position here, and oh no, yes, yeah, himself by Sarmeister. Now 2v1 with 15 seconds left. Risk is gonna need to hold the fort here with his mirror windows. One gets knifed, but he's still sitting in long death. Oh, he's not sitting long death. He's seeing Janitor. And Sarmeister recognizes that, takes him out, and that's round 1 for Eternal.
Yeah, and it was a very aggressive run there from Penta, and it started out decently well. You get that 4 versus 3 man count, but the aggression there is really what actually lost them the round. The player holding that shield, looking out the square, could have just stayed there. There's no nades left on the board. You can just hold that position, wait for them to get close. Try and even sort of set up a crossfire with that mirror window on the sort of janitor wall through the door. Instead, he gets very aggressive, ends up paying with his life, and a 2v1 there, very hard to win, especially when ESG notice that, and they full-on just pinch that position. There's no way the mirror can really get a pick there. That being said, the sort of reposition into Janitor was very good. Could have potentially actually separated out those 1v1s, but unfortunately just wasn't looking at the door. I believe he was looking at that breach, and all of those negative factors just culminate in a round win for ESG there. So 1-1 on the board. We're going back to the second floor, and it looks to be this mirror strat being used again, but it warranted mixed results last time, I have to say, but it seems to be a sort of cornerstone of this defense, and we're likely not going to see as many people running out this time. It did find success, and I would hope to see a sort of more reined-in Penta defense going up here, because they really can't afford to lose this again.
I mean, it was a 3v2. They nearly won that, but the isolated 1v1s that ESG took advantage of didn't cost them the round. And going back to the side, I mean, I see why they're going for it. I mean, did nearly work out for them, but we'll see. Maybe ESG now knows how to approach this attack a bit more better. And
Yeah.
we see Sarmeister now already
Attackers
going for
located a
garage
bomb.
alone. He's gonna sneak up, probably marble stairs or blue stairs. Let's see.
Yeah, Sarmeister getting a lot of map control here, just completely clearing out that basement, seeing that there's no roamers there. Karma, though, could be a real sticking point. He doesn't have Nitro Cell. I think Goyo might have had that removed, I'm not too sure, but either way, he could still deny the plant if he gets a sort of bang-on impact nade. Doesn't even need to. Takes down Jawa there in that sort of ratty position, and now he still has a lot of very strong angles to hold here, and the attack do need to clear him out because the lobby push is sort of key here, and even if they're going for more of a white push, it could still end up disrupting them. Nestor goes down on site, I believe, as Sarmeister is now beginning to flank Karma, but does Karma hit the sprinting? Nobody still gets the kill! 90-degree turn, but meanwhile, Spyro is on a bit of a tear on that second floor, takes out another defender, and it's still a 3 versus 3.
Mysterio finds 2 kills, and now a 1v3. Spyro left all alone on these windows. Gonna need to ace here to clutch it out for his team, but it doesn't seem very likely with a minute 10 on the clock. He has to go from ATMs now and try to go for the same position as his 2 teammates have been killed by Tiro. We'll know about his position, and Tiro playing a bit more aggressively here on these stairs. Making from it, but he's getting yellow pinged, and Spyro does find himself one more. Now 1v2, very winnable here if he just isolates these picks. Shot being rung out from meeting, and Goyo Cannon is just being popped. Oh no, he cannot get the clutch. Now another round for Penta, and a lot more coordinated on their defense here.
Yeah, and a thing I want to point out from ESG, though, I've seen 3 rounds in a row now. It's entry players droning themselves in. It overall just stalls the actual pace of the clear. We saw the Amaru droning themselves in round 1, Nook, I believe, droning themselves in round 2, and then the Yana droning in themselves round 3. It's just a very slow clear. When if you had a bit more coordination, you could be sending those drones in and attacker right behind you. You could clear that ground floor incredibly quickly. In fact, there was just no attempt to clear there at all. Karma allowed to just sit in that corner, get that opening pick. And from there, the sort of attack begins to tumble. They don't know how to deal with that threat. They try sending Sarmeister in on his own with no real intel onto exactly where the Goyo is. And, he would have got the kill, but thanks to a few whiff shots, Karma just flicks around, gets him. And thereon, despite the sort of strong round that Spyro had, the attack just can't really get anything going. It's a 1 versus 3 for Spyro. He manages to get a third in that round, but ultimately to no avail. So back down to the basement here. Things are starting to get a little bit rough, I'd say, for ESG. Penta gave them a lot of control last time we were down here, and ESG didn't know how to capitalize on that at all. And this time, it does seem to be an even more aggressive hold. I'm only seeing 2 in the basement so far, so there is actually going to be a roam clear required, I believe. Yep, there's presence on that top floor, so if Holroster goes in without thoroughly droning things, he could potentially be taken down very early.
That room clear will be aided by the Jackal of Starmeister, who's already on the square windows here, trying to get 1 pick. First opening frag for him, as there are 2 people playing here. They're gonna need to be found out by the drone or by another way, as Java does capitalize on the yellow ping. and finds Tiro, and Karma is forced to rotate down and potentially going back to site as top floor is now fully abandoned by Penta. Nope, Karma just sticks around in this bottom elevator with Quavery. Nope, decides to rotate back down, and that's roaming, all of the roaming gone. Just 1 minute to the round. Now ESG just needs to capitalize on this, and it seems like they do already getting control of the lobby, bringing up that hatch, and already coming to the main staircase with Starmeister and the Jackal. Hatch is being opened. Now they just need to not stall out. They need to adapt to this a bit unorthodox defense maybe that Penta is rigging, but they should be very well aware of what Penta is playing here. Still, hatch is being opened up. EMPs from Exia helping that to deny the Kaid Claw on the hatch. And now, just a bit of a calm before the storm here. It's a minute 15 still left on the clock. And ESG just joining out the site, getting some idea of what they're looking into.
Yeah, they've got the smoke grenades to sort of block off the mirror windows if need be. They've also got all of this map control. They can approach from a lot of different angles. Jawa is going to be the one sort of tempting a pick through that server door. There's still plenty of utility. We see the Goya canister already detonated. 2 more there to deny the plant. The Hibana breach is going to come out that will allow a direct avenue for the attackers to just get a slight bit of footwork into there, get a plant down, but that's not going to stop the Goya canisters. That is 40 seconds of stall there, I believe. So it's really up to the attack to take the initiative here. They're going to have to push in closer, and Karma, he's very close to that hatch, gets one, almost given a second. Hollister not paying attention to his angles, flicks around, doesn't get the kill. 3 versus 2 is elsewhere on site. Spyro and Jawa get 2. It's a 3 versus 2 for the attack. Plant going down behind the cover of smoke as Starmeister gets very aggressive, aids with his life, but Case is now down. This is a great post-plant position as Karma has 4 on the round, but look at Jawa going all the way upstairs. He can hold this from the hatch if need be. He has a lot of freedom here to dictate the pace of this post-plant.
Now he just gets on the hatch, but Karma gets the ace, finally gets the Jawa, reads his play, and now the diffuser being diffused, and that's a win for Penta. Seemed a bit scary there at the end when the coastline went down, but Zero Synergy unable to capitalize on that. That's not a round for Penta, looking quite strong now as they're going to the tertiary type of staff in open area.
And it's really disappointing there because Eternal Synergy, they did a great job on that roam clear. We saw just the immediate impact of just having a drone in front of your entry. They got the ping out immediately to get that pick on the roamer, and that puts you in a great position. You have top floor cleared. Ground floor was cleared very soon after that. The drone work was great, but as you said, they just stalled out on the objective. There was a lot of sort of utility there, the Chloe specifically keeping them at bay, and they never actually attack it early enough to get a plant down. So they had to plant in a very awkward position, go very deep, trade lives as well, and just ultimately execute. They fall apart at the seams. Penta, a 3rd on the round, going to this tertiary, finally giving ESG a concrete chance of winning a round here, but 3-1 up. Penta have looked really good so far. 4-1 here, wins them the half, puts ESG immediately on the back foot going onto their defenses. Because Penta, the aggression has been incredible. They've done a great job of sort of recognizing when they need to make a play, when they need to sort of be the hero, and when they can just sort of sit back, let ESG take a bit of control. And that's just led to them winning these rounds. And I just think that kind of mindset on the attack is going to be very, very valuable.
Definitely well as go to the tertiary side. Tiro on the Fenrir as Xeal free in to this 2nd floor now. Going to be room clearing. Quavery was on here, and Quavery gets Ixia just for free here. Now a 4u5 open frag being in favor of Penta, as now Quavery just rotates down to side. He got his pick. There's no need to get refragged. That does mean that control of 2nd floor is taken now by ESG. Just a minute to the round. They're just going to need to capitalize without that Jackal to get those that intel from the footprints. ESG does seem to go for this kind of lobby push here, and Penta, you seem to recognize that. Still, there's Hellraiser on these main stairs, going to be greeted by Tiro. I'm not sure if he's aware where he is right now. So he's just watching this rotate, maybe trying to get a frag. But Nesto gets one for himself. Stormeister is fallen down. That's Dokubi off the board, and Tiro, I guess on the main stairs, gets double kill. Oh no, never mind. It's Quavery getting that kill. Onto Spyro, and now Java in left in a 1v5 situation. Will this be a flawless round for Penta? Does seem like it, as Tiro gets a lot of damage, gets downed, but not out. So a possibility for a flawless. Java's getting pressure from all sides, and it will be as Karma cleans it up for his team. And that's another round for Penta, and timeout requested by Eternal.
Yeah, there just wasn't adequate droning there early on in the round. Exia was incredibly aggressive, just repelling it on that Jackal, but he was in a very poor position when the intel came out on Quavery. Quavery just holding that angle with the Warden, gets that pick, and once you lose that Jackal, that really sort of halts the roam clear completely, because suddenly you're then going to have to drone everything. You don't know if Quavery is backed off or not. You don't even know if there are more defenders up there. You haven't had time to use that scanner just to get any kind of intel at all. So immediately the attackers are sort of on their toes a bit. They have to wait, clear out that top floor, and well, Penta, they just strike at the opportunity. The indecisiveness again from ESG. They just pounce, get a pick. So now ESG bring us to this timeout. This very much, I think, is a mental thing. That there's sort of the strats we've seen from Penta. I doubt they're going to be discussing that. They just need to sort of get in the right headspace, realize that okay, this hasn't been the greatest half for us. There's still an entire another half here. We can just get this one round. 2-4 half is still manageable. We can still very much win here, but they can't sort of get in their own heads. So that is why we've been brought to this timeout, as Penta are going to the second floor, a site that they have looked good on for the most part, aside from a little bit of over-aggression in round 2. But overall, Penta, they've looked really good, especially coming off the back of that forfeit loss. They're just energized. They're fired up. They're ready to get these points back on the board because, to be honest, groups are smaller now in this season. A forfeit like that, you can't really sort of treat that lightly. You've still got to... There's no real leeway in this season compared to last, I'd say.
Now, Penta, yeah, they are looking to realize another win for themselves. Going top floor, as you said. Now, Eternal Synergy, yeah, they're going to be hoping for a win here. If they don't, it's not likely that they're gonna claw it back in defense. I mean, anything is possible. We've seen huge comebacks, even from 6-0, but from what I've seen, from how Eternal is playing, not really likely right now. But there's still one more round to be played in this half, and as we're just going away from the prep phase now, delivery on the Valk, going to be bringing a bit of utility here to get a bit of more intel, but Hellraiser on Nook, it's quite a good pick against that, and hopefully this time Nook will be a bit more useful here, as we haven't seen a lot of use with her so far on this map, at least. Hopefully, ESG are gonna be able to rectify that.
Yeah, I was going to say getting very aggressive there, but it is just a Gemini replicator. We're really going to be needing to see a bit more cohesiveness from ESG. That has been their main sort of sticking point here, so hopefully they've talked over that in the timeout. We are seeing a lot better drone work from them, but Karma is still going to once again be an absolute nuisance here. They've got drones on him, they know that position, but there's no real way for them to actually kill him. He's in just such a difficult to dislodge position, and he gets another Sarmeister taken down. The Nomad going down so early is sort of vital there. There's not going to be any real flank watch for the remainder of the round, with shots from Karma, but still, he is just halting the pace of this round completely for the attack as Exia trying his best to clear him out. Nesto actually gets a little bit aggressive as Exia picks up one. 4 versus 4, but with Karma still laying down below here, it's going to be so difficult for the attack to formulate a clear.
Karma just looks so comfortable in that position. He did not feel any pressure there as Quavery gets another pick for himself. But Karma is still playing in that same position. He's still there. He's still causing a bit of havoc for Exia. And now gets taken out, and Hellraiser all alone, left against 4 people on the main stairs. He might not be known to be here, as just was that Quavery, I think, just on the drone or on cams, waiting patiently, trying to get a bit of intel on where he is. Tiro just walking completely past him. Soldier aware of this. He might get just a free pick here. He does. Now 1v3, but position known. Risk cleans it up for the team. And now a 5-1 half for Penta. Penta are looking really good on the map of Bank. They just need to continue on this momentum into attack as well.
Yeah, their ability to hold power positions on that defense just throughout the half was incredible. We saw Karma down below so many times. The mirror window strat as well, although it had mixed success, they still were getting a lot of sort of value from it. So going on to their attacks now, Penta can still utilize that sort of ability to play around the map. We're seeing the Amaru brought again, so that should allow for a relatively quick roam clear. The Brava, though,
Attackers need
that's
to
very
locate and
interesting.
defuse
We're
bomb.
likely going to be seeing the cameras hacked out. I think about Square, probably the white cam as well, just to add that extra layer of sort of flank watch without having to bring something like a Nomad or a Gridlock. She also has the smoke grenades, which are just very, very good for attacking the basement. You can you can block lines of sight from mirror windows, although ESG actually aren't bringing the mirror, opting instead for that pulse to sort of see where the planet's going down. But no less, it still is very good at just blocking those lines of sight. But we're actually on this ground floor site, so potentially Penta going to swap things up a little. We're seeing the Flores and the Ace now just being brought. Hibana not needed because there just aren't as many hatches.
5 seconds to go.
So ESG trying to catch the team of Penta a bit off guard, but Penta, look, they've just used that attacker repick to thoroughly change their lineup. So now ESG kind of gambling here on a weaker site just to see if they can pull off this odd strat. Not exactly odd, but it's not that primary site. So ESG really banking on getting a surprising round win just to start off this half.
Yep, hopefully Penta. I mean, Penta did read into it, and now Florian is also coming out. Gonna be getting rid of those keyword barriers that ESG has put up. Now droning out, trying to drone out these rumors. Quite a one-dimensional kind of defense here coming out from ESG, as second floor being left, I think, completely open for taking a zero. Gets taken down by Surmeister already. There's a very early pick, just 40 seconds into the round. He's getting called now, his position known, but it's going to be difficult to dislodge him as he mute with the shotgun. Could be quite powerful here. He's still playing in this elevator position. He has a rotate down free pass here into downstairs through this hatch. And does Penta know that he's still there? I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter at this point, as just opening up these third holes as C4. It's not like anyone from Spyro, but still getting verts done to him. In archives, it's going to put a lot of pressure on him if those words are kept utilized correctly.
Yeah, Quaver, he just wants to force the issue though, dropping down into that ground floor. They still need to clear out Sarmeister here. No nades on the side of Penta, which is kind of a crucial blunder, Tiro being the only set. With no Wamai or Jaeger to stop them, it's just going to have to be gunfights. But Penta, they've shown to be very good at winning those gunfights. Exia is going to be the next sort of
Oh my
contest on the white stairs, immediately taken down. Jawa has to swing out, but dies again. Quavery just on an absolute tear here. One team kill comes out from Penta, but Holrusser alone on this 1 versus 3. He's built himself up a little bit of a cardboard box fort on this staff room position, but still, there's so many angles to defend from. The rotate likely coming through, drone just securing that position as we're likely going to see a kill. Yep, Quavery gets a 4th on the round, I do believe, and Penta, bouncing back from that early pick, have done an incredible job just tearing apart that defense.
I just could not put up anything against Quavery's push, just falling one by one by one, and no trades coming out. I mean, the mute in the elevator is completely alone. No one even trying to swing out into beepers to collect his refrag. It's a bit unfortunate, but now facing down a match point defeat, a 1-7 for ESG would not bode too well.
Attackers need to locate
As
and
I think
defuse bombs.
they're winless, I think, so far in the group stage. Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
It's tough.
ESG, they need this win bad. They're down 0-2, not even an overtime. Pretty bad in the round differential as well, -7. Whereas Penta only just above them, but a 7-1 would be huge for that record. They'd go positive in wins and positive in rounds as well. So Penta, they really need to clean this out as quick as possible just to bounce back from that forfeit, because obviously forfeit counts as a 7-0 loss. So Penta, it's going to be about
10
just
seconds
sort
to
of
go.
just finishing that out as quick as possible. We're seeing that OSA being brought just for
5
the
seconds
execute,
left
but
before insertion.
we're also on this upstairs site, so maybe it will not find as much usage.
Objective
It's
is to
still
defuse a bomb.
very sort of useful operator to just clear out positions, top square, place an OSA shield down. You can contest through those long lines of sight, but it's not as useful as a site like the basement where you really need an OSA shield just to get a plant down.
I was surprised I think it's the first time we're seeing Osa being played so far on this match, on this attack. It's gonna be actually see as yeah, you are right. Square, putting out the shield, utilizing these head holes that defenders have made a bit against them, unless there's an impact coming out. I mean, no, ESG has not brought any impacts. The only way to deny this shield is with a C4 from Exia, which I don't think is going to be coming out from him. But there's a counter shield from Jawa here on the same position that Penta were playing just a couple of rounds ago on their defensive half. And now Risk has a drone, just making sure that no one is playing ATMs that can shoot him there. As Fujiwara does get a first pick, it's Quavery down. The pivotal force of Penta now taken down. That's gonna be a bit better for ESG, but still, they have a bunch of players that can deny this. As Java is now being pressured from two sides here. Nesto from Stalk now jumps in. No frost trap there, and he's not aware. Java's not aware, and Nesto takes him out. That's the shield player gone. They can go into Janitor, pretty much free of charge. Now 4-4. It's slowing out. Not slowing out, but still minute 20.
Once again, we've seen Penta not really bring adequate utility. They have only the Zephyr, really, to destroy that shield. But they just force the gunfights, they force the issue, and they win them. Jawa caught completely off guard there. I don't know why there wasn't any frost mat there. You usually see that position being secured by a mat, just so you then have a little bit of intel when the attackers vault into stock. Exia down below has pre-placed that Nitro, so that is completely gone for the actual plant. And now as Nesto, he gets a second on the round. ESG are once again on the back foot here. Exia on that top white position now. He has to really challenge Nesto on this shield, but he's been given utility to play behind us. Risk gets another, Karma another. It's all on Spyro, and Penta lock it out in just dominant fashion. 7-1 there.
That was a bit of a blowout. I mean, it started out well, that first pick, but just then crumbled completely under pressure, and Penta takes it 7-1. That's really good for them.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, they are 2-1 in their groups. Now 3 points for them.
Yeah, every point matters here. We have a sort of new system this season, so it really does just emphasize the importance of dominant wins and just wins in general. So Penta, they're going to be very thankful that it was such an easy match for them. We've got 2 more matches lined up today, so we're just going to go to a short break, and we'll be right back in a couple of minutes to break down match 2.
Yep. Hello, welcome back to the ESA Cup. This is match 2 of today's stream. It's going to be PlayStation versus Project 100. We started with the bottom 2 of the group. Now we're going to advance to the top 3. I mean, we could technically say it's top 2 as they are Pulse, I think it is. Yeah, Pulse is tied with Tropics for second place. They're just below them because they lost to Team Tropics just last week. But now they're going to be playing against Project 100, who have gone so far lossless in their group. They only played 1 match. The other one was a forfeit against Penta. And Pulse, they're going 7-1 against the Odd and 2-7 against Tropics. So this should be quite an interesting match.
Yeah, although Project 100 have sort of so far made it quite securely the top the group with those 2 wins, it is important to note the first one was 7-5. It was very close, only 2 rounds separating them, and the second one they did actually sort of manage to benefit from that forfeit from Penta. So this is actually their only the second match they're playing. So we could very much still see sort of cracks be exposed in Project 100, maybe see a bit of weakness that we just haven't seen before. So it's by no means sort of set in stone them topping this group, but a win here will very likely help them secure at least Swiss stage, potentially even a high seed.
Yep, hopefully. I think that's what they're banking for. And if we want to go to the prediction from the viewers, they do think that Project 100 is going to take it in the bag. 88% for Project 100. I mean, I wouldn't be so sure with the outcome of this, but I mean, what can I say? Maybe they can still win it out.
Yeah, potentially a bit of recency bias there. Pulse Nation, they did start off with a 7-1 win, but were dispatched quite easily 7-2 by Tropics Clan just last week. So, coming off the back of that loss, it's understandable that the community might think that, you know, Pulse 100, Project 100 even have this in the bag.
Well, might be it. I mean, there's only one way to find out who will win as if we go into the game. But before that, we go into map to see what map we'll be playing. And that's why the hell? That should have been set up.
It's Oregon,
but,
folks.
yeah.
We're doing an elaborate all of this for just Oregon, unfortunately. So it's nothing new here. It's very sort of same siege we're going to see, but yeah, we are going to be seeing them this battle go down in Oregon, as the overlay doesn't seem to be working.
Yep, I mean, it should be working, but I guess it's decided that it's not going to work today. But let's just gloss over past that and just get straight into the game then, shall we? Wait, all
We
fresh
should
players
do.
in.
Yep.
Going into the game. And going into the operator bands on Oregon. Yep, as you said, Oregon. Gonna be played and gonna decide who will go to the, I think, to the top of the group, if I'm not mistaken.
It should be. I mean, Group D is very close. There were 4 teams tied on 3 points. So Panther obviously actually is going to get 6 points here. They're going to be tied with Project 100 at the moment. So this is potentially fight for first, but we could also see another tie, another sort of 3-team tie by the end of this. We're going to be seeing Ying banned first off for similar sort of reasons as she was banned on Bank. She can make the executes a lot sort of easier just by the amount of utility she brings. The flashbangs can really just smother the defenders in the sight. Montagne being brought as well, again, for similar reasons, really. As he was banned on Bank, it just makes that roam clear a lot safer for the attack. It can also speed it up quite a lot, as Montagne can act as sort of that human drone with that big shield in front of him. So, yeah, these are 2 bans that are mainly sort of focused on just making the attack really work for that roam clear, making them have to be sort of efficient on that time because there's no sort of workarounds for it. Solace getting banned, just deja vu, really. These are the 3 exact same bans we saw on Bank. Solace, no surprises there. She's just so strong. The ability to see those drones through walls, great guns. She's just sort of the total package there. Unfortunately, we're not seeing a Mozzie ban like last map. Instead, Kayad will fall off the board, so that will at least allow for a bit more freedom for the attack. They don't have to bring that Thatcher to get like hatches open. It just should make that clear a little bit quicker.
As see disconnect here. I'm gonna jump a bit of a pause here as wait for the players to jump back into the lobby. And I mean, the most ban that was a bit more justified, I think, on Bank, but here, I mean, the only use I see for him is if you're pushing basement elbow, which
Yeah.
it's just one push that they can do, and I have not seen teams do that push in quite a while. So, I mean, maybe I don't know.
I mean, potentially it's just to stop any kind of roam clear being used with that Monty. It can be
Yeah, I mean, that
annoying
as
for
well.
roamers if they're sort of
Yeah.
isolated against that Monty. They just don't want to sort of deal with that problem, so they just ban it out. Of course, that does leave things like the Flores open, like the Nook open, which we're seeing being brought here. It opens up a lot of particularly sort of effective operators on the attack. So it could end up being a gamble that doesn't really pay out for the side of, I believe it was Pulse Nation banning that, I believe.
Also, Kaid. That's the first time Kaid was banned so far in the group stage, interestingly enough.
Yeah, it again, it's kind of almost one of those comfort bans. I'd say it just makes it a little bit quicker. So you sure you can bring that Thatcher? There's no Thatcher ban. You can also bring impact EMPs, but that just adds a little bit extra time to the overall round for the attack. So they just don't want to deal with that on their attack. They want to get those hatches open quick because basement can be quite a sort of difficult
Attackers
nut
need
to
to
crack,
locate
really,
and
at
defuse
that
as many
site. So
bombs as they can.
it's overall just for the comfort, I'd say, more than anything particularly strategical.
That is very true, and also allows them to, instead of a Thatcher, bring some other operator. I mean, that's also might be the reason why, as you said, the tough nut to crack. We're going right to it. We're going to the basement, and again, as we saw last game, Mir being brought. I mean, we did see Mir being brought just on another map. Basement, it's a bit of a more default strat to bring a meter here.
Seconds left.
Also, I mean, interestingly enough, being brought is Fenrir.
5
And
seconds remaining.
I've seen people play him, but I have not seen
Attackers objective.
Fenrir have much impact on to how the round push has been played. Maybe in some games of Group A or B, there has been some use of him, but so far I have not seen much. Maybe that's going to change
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, Fenrir, it just seems like a very strong operator on paper that we haven't really been able to figure out yet. Brava being brought there by Beans, another sort of interesting pick. And interesting in general, this setup is seemingly very loose. They have that E-box hatch open for any kind of roamers to just pull back. It will be Nerd, in fact, holding Kitchen here on the Legion. So immediately we've got the setup here for a quite a deep roam. You know, Cesar as well on that Oryx, just on the top of Freezer stairs, just to aggressing the attackers. Meanwhile, entry being droned in. I believe that's AJ on the Ash. Cesar can just help on the hatches. AJ, in fact, gets taken down by Cobra. So this roam game so far has yielded a lot of success here. Cobra still on this shower corridor, just looking for any other attackers, melting down drones as they come at him. Very, very wasteful for the attacker with those drones. Only 3 remaining, in fact, as this roam is nowhere near cleared at all. Beans, though, could potentially catch Fod off guard here in this garage position.
Yep, if some pressures would be put on Fod from that zigzag, but as not appears to be, Fod is quite comfortable to play here. And still 1 minute 30 on the clock, and they're just starting to push the shower hallway. As Ben, I guess would be his name, tracks the footsteps of Cobra, now being spotted with the Jackal scan. Knows where he is, but does he know? No, he does not. About the player on White Stairs gets downed, but Jack is there to assist him. Takes a few shots at Cobra, but Cobra secures another kill for him as Jack is taken down. Dicker, very low HP, and White Beans down as well. And now it's a glorified 2v4 as Benz is still downed. Dicker in this dining hall position, just waiting to see maybe if someone will peek, maybe someone will give some pick to him, but does not appear to be. Appears that all of T of P100 has rotated back to site, and now Dicker picks up Ben, but now they're both at very low, about 20 HP for both. It's just one shot, and that's going to be the death of them.
Yeah, Project 100 have been just clinical on this roam this round. They were very good at managing that aggression. They got sort of feisty when they needed to be, and they just held back, played their angles when the situation required it, and it's left pulls here in this 2 versus 4. Dicker and Benz, they're still up. They've managed to get that pickup, so it's not exactly a 1vx yet, but there's such little health. Goyo canisters or even just a stray shot from the T5 takes down Dicker. Benz gets at least the trade, but Jinky just shuts at that round, and it was an incredibly good round from P100 just to start off this map.
Yep. And that was, they said, clinical in their roam. I was questioning a bit their choice of opening up the E-box hatch, but I mean, it worked out. If it wouldn't have though, that mirror window would have just been pumped immediately without any Ebon appellants needs to be wasted, and also a bit lacking on their drone game from Pulse here, as
Attackers need to locate
they were
and
not
defuse
aware of
the
this
bombs.
deep roam. They still brought a Hibana when they really didn't really need to. They could have brought maybe an ace. No, actually, never mind. Hibana still would have been good, but Yeah, it doesn't seem that they were aware of how deep the roam was. Still decided to play into it. Tries to roam clear. It just did not work out for them. But now, P100 going to top floor site. And tries to defend that with a Valk being brought.
Yeah, and this is really going to
10
be
seconds
where
left.
Pulse need to up their roam clear game here. You see Nerd and Caesar going to
5
that
seconds
ground
left.
floor, and they're going to likely be a nuisance down here. We've seen Wardens achieve a lot just from this sort of meeting overall section of the map. They can I've even seen some prone by that double door just to try and get the feet of the attackers, get an early pick. So they're going to be very problematic here because that also heavily reduces the vertical play. That being said, we did see a re-pick off of the book, so we're only actually going to have Yana with the nades for the vertical. So it's looking much more like a horizontal take here, which is quite rare, honestly, for the attack. A lot of drone work going towards that ground floor, though, so I could be wrong as Jack. He's actually made his way into the garage. He's just holding down cross angles there, trying to catch a defender off guard. If he can catch one of those roamers, that's great, but I doubt they'll be that careless. He's now pushed into that lobby area, slowly approaching Zulu. Nope, he actually goes to the armory stairs. This could be a very fast push up here as Ben's. He's close behind him, but spotted on the camera, and this will alert all of the defenders to this position. We're likely potentially going to see a flank behind there, but a lot of attention will be brought to Trophy as well, just to stop Jack from approaching anymore.
Could just pounce on here if he just goes for the spray here through the window. He does, and he does find Jack here from all the way from Big Tower, and Beans is fallen as well by Cobra. And let's find the trade. But now a 3-4 situation. They're approaching site now, but a minute 40 on the clock. No breach has been opened just yet. I think still meat jammers are left on the wall. Oh, never mind. Breach is open. And now a minute 30 on the clock. I mean, could still go either way depending on how it's going to be played. As Ben finds another one, Saw be taken out. Still, there's a Valk playing below with a C4. Could deny it very easily to plant if the intel game is on it. As Cobra decides to go for a run out here. I think he was trying to take out Jay on the drone, but Jay, a bit faster than him, takes him out as Dicker makes his way to the site. He's fighting with Jinky, who's all alone in sight, and is taken to very low speed by Dicker. But now, top white. Oh, there it is. Nerd comes up top white, takes out the thermite. That's the diffuser down in sight. But now, he's being pressured from both angles, and now 2v1 against Jinky. Down to a 1v1, and nearly takes out Benjo. But still, 30 seconds. Benjo swings, and he does find Jinky on very low HP, and that's another round. I mean, not another round. Round 4, the attack. It went a bit scary there at the end, but still, Pulse able to take out the last remaining defenders on site.
Yeah, Project 100 just getting a tad too aggressive there when it came to the execute. Cobra, he'd positioned himself nicely in the corner by the bunks. It forced the attack to take a very disadvantageous flight, vaulting through that double window. But he sees that the player's on drone, or he hears it, and he vaults out, but he just gets taken down. It was a risk that didn't need to be taken. You're at an equal man count. You're in a strong position. Just sit there. Play for the gunfight, really. You don't need to get too aggressive. Cobra does get aggressive and ultimately pays for it, and it was looking like a strong round from P100 overall. But Pulse, they just managed to isolate 1v1 gunfights, pick apart that defense, so I don't think Cobra will fall for these same mistakes again. We're seeing an Azami in play now just to sort of bolster the strength of those positions, and I also don't think we'll be seeing any of those P100 members jumping out of windows as such. Just going to be playing a lot sort of closer to sight, I'd imagine, because even the roam didn't necessarily achieve much. There was a kill on that big tower, but the Valkyrie below didn't really achieve the goal at all, didn't deny plan, didn't even get a kill for the vertical hole. The Nitro went early and it ultimately gave away her position. So overall, we're likely going to see much more of a passive round coming out from P100 here.
Hopefully that's going to happen, and it does appear like staying inside Sa, who's just playing, I think in Big Tower, just staying on cams, giving his team some intel. And actually, Nerd decides to go for a roam, which is interesting as an Azami. I thought just waiting for the Q barriers to load up and put them into sight. Actually, no, never mind. Just playing on these white stairs. Gonna be shooting up some drones, coming in to get intel on him, as it does seem like a bit of a similar strategy coming out from Pulse Nation on this attack. Pulse Shield on the big window, again, putting it up there, and immediately destroyed, actually. Second one being put up, and it might be destroyed as well by Cobra with his impact nades. Yep, Will, and now AJ on really low HP here. Just one shot on him, he would be dead. But still, gone on this big window, trying to isolate a pick as Food Pod gets taken out, but Jinky immediately trades him. Very nice trading game there by P100, and now a 4-4 situation with a minute 40 on the clock.
Yeah, Pulse, they still have that hard breach. They can still try and find a way into the site, but that sort of double window pressure is greatly minimized due to those impact nades being used. You know, Beans doesn't actually have any of that primary utility left. He sure he has smoke grenades that could potentially facilitate a push, but it's going to be a lot more difficult finding Vite from that position, and we actually see AJ just rotate, but he's on such low HP due to those impact nades that if he gets into a gunfight here, he's going to be greatly disadvantaged. As I said, only 20 HP and Caesar close there, but Caesar's actually rotating around. There's 2 defenders still on this ground floor, potentially playing for a plant, but there's only 1 nitro cell that is on the warden, so he's playing very aggressive here when he really has that key piece of utility. And I don't even know if he's aware of AJ's position. He is, gets a pick into AJ and rotates back to site. Man advantage once again in favor of the defense.
Yeah, this Dicker is still on the breach, takes a bit of damage here as Jag be singing out, and a flurry of kills coming in a 1v3 situation now with Dicker. He has plant in his pocket, but now a 1v2 as he takes out Cobra. And it's very winnable here with 30 seconds left though. He's gonna need to not waste a lot of time here. Isolate these picks as 2 and Jinky and Nerd are quite isolated. One in Attic and one on top white. This could be bad for them, but no, Nerd still takes out Dicker, and that's one more round for P100, and this time they're looking a lot better on their defense off top floor.
Yeah, it was a great sort of response that loss. They were playing much more reined in. They let the attackers come to them and they just cut them down, and it resulted in a much more dominant win there, and it puts their second round on the board. They're going now back to the basement. They're likely their primary site. They're going to be bringing that same lineup with the Mirror and the Fenrir. Fenrir, as we were sort of pointing out, still haven't seen sort of a lot of good play from that operator. It still kind of seems like teams are figuring out where is best to use it, how it's best to use, but still could potentially see some strong positions here, like that bunker, maybe even something like laundry stairs, just those harsh angles that the attack have to push through. Meanwhile, on the attack, they do have that ace 6 picked out from the Hibana. Could potentially swap back if the hatch is closed, but they're still rocking with this one hard breach setup. The Twitch is going to be nice to counter that Mirror. Oster as well, there may be aggress on that elbow position, but the main sort of poor point still, I think, is that single hard breach, because it is a massive risk for the team. If Dicker is taken down early, it drastically limits the fights you can take.
And from the drone position here, actually, they might just go for a blue push. They recognized a lot of roamers coming out from P100, and it does appear that Dicker, together with the Y-Beans, are going for this blue push, and gonna ensure this mirror window probably, or try at least to get the breach on it. Fod getting back to site. Now 3 people playing in sight. A lot less roamers coming out from P100 this time. Still, they are able to rotate up if needed through those freezer stairs and aid those roaming upstairs. But 4 people stacked up on blue. That is actually 5 now stacked up on blue. Everyone just going for this push. Now they know that they are gonna go for it. The smokes being tossed out, and ace charge onto the mirror window. Gonna break it now, and that will allow the members of Pulse to push in here if they're careful. The Squid Canister with the fire still just denying some time for them to push in, but now there's no fire anymore, and yeah, there he goes. Jack pushes in, goes into elbow, cooks a nade to kill Fod on pillar, and now it's a 5v4 situation. Roamers are starting to rotate back down to assist the players playing inside.
Yeah, the thing to note here, that E-box hatch is open, so a potential sort of cover angle could be used, but Jack doesn't care. Another nade sings out, finds its target. That's Jinky taken down this time. So that's a Nitro taken off the board, the only Nitro, I believe, in that lineup. So denying plant is going to become a lot harder. Caesar, he's stuck on this top floor. He has to find a way to get down. Potentially wants to try and take the fight on the hatch, but it's going to expose him to so many different angles. Cobra takes down Ben, so that's a good start. Cobra nearly takes down Dicker. Nerd evens out the man count, taking down Beans, and there's still a lot of strong positions being held by the defense. This hatch as well, particularly if it's not read into, could be just incredibly damning to the attack here. They still have, good weapons here. They've not quite that health advantage, but they have an ingress into sight. The plant could go down, but the defense, they're still holding key positions like Freezer, like Laundry. AJ has to be very careful where he steps. Dicker taken down by Nerd. AJ could potentially find one on this highway position as Cobra swings out, double swings in fact, gets that kill. It's now a 1 versus 3. Jack, the real hero of that round, just can't really find anything else to give as Caesar takes him down. And despite a very scary start, P100 take up on another defensive win.
Caesar on the hatch was a very, very bad, just throw in the side of the attack of Pulse. Can just waltz into E-box and take control of site. You had to be very careful, and that I think was a downfall for them. And they just stalled out. They got the pillar, they got that control, but could not capitalize on it, could not get into sight, could not get the plant down. And Pulse played it really well, did not over-aggress. They swung the angles that they needed to, got the picks, even though the man count, and ultimately won the round. That was very nicely done with them. Is now heading to the tertiary side of kitchen and meeting.
Yeah, I believe this is the first time we've seen the tertiary site here. We've got Mute likely going to be playing around security. Those jammers as well are going to be sort of halting the progression of the map clear. Fenrir being brought, this time by Caesar, could also sort of assist with those roamers above, but by again just sort of slowing down the pace of the attackers up there. Gridlock being brought here is rather interesting. She does bring the smoke grenades, but she also brings the EMPs actually. A fact I sort of forget is a lot of teams will just use Gridlock to get walls open. You have the EMPs, you have a little bit of extra utility with the track stingers, but they aren't the best at covering flank. They really just act as a sort of auditory warning rather than a total deterrent. Nevertheless, on a map like Oregon, where you do see a lot of wide roams across all 3 floors, there's still a lot of usage to be found, but it looks like the defense are going to be focusing on the ground and the top floor with Caesar and Nerd up there, Cobra as well, assisting, while Beans and AJ are left droning everything out.
Right now, just needing to find where the players are, and Nerd takes out White Beans and getting affected by the Fenrir gadget himself, but that doesn't deter him from getting the kill himself. And that's one of the first times I've seen the Fenrir gadget being used to get a kill and get first advantage. That's the Ash on the board as well of White Beans. And now 4v5 will be a bit more tough as AJ is potentially looking to just vault to the side through this window, and yep, jumps in. Might get a bit more damage here done onto Jinky. Does do that, but cannot find any kills for himself. Thinks about jumping out and rotating around, but decides against it. Still trying to poke into the side right here, but cannot. Jinky takes him out with his SMG-11. Jack gets another nade kill for himself. He's on fire with those nades, but the gun also works as well. Takes out Cobra, and now top floor control is nearly established as Attic. Ooh, that's the C4 coming out from Jinky. Takes out Jack. Plays us from below through the third holes. That is really nicely done for them, as Caesar is left all alone here to defend the fort of top floor. Dicker and the Benjo are going to be breathing down his neck. They know where he is, but they have no need to deny it, as from Verts, Dicker is taken out, and Caesar cleans it out. Takes out Benz, and now another round for them. As the defenses here are looking really, really powerful right now.
Yeah, Caesar particularly really sort of the hero for that round. This gadget allows for the first kill to go the way of the defense, and he just stays up there while all the rest of his teammates have either died or peeled away. He is just stuck on that top floor, and he doesn't intend on moving anywhere. He wastes a lot of time. ends up getting the picks, but even if he didn't kill either of those players, still just waiting up there with only 60 seconds left on the clock, it really limits what the attack can do. They can't start formulating their push without dealing with him because the constant pressure applied by that Fenrir up there. So really phenomenal round there from him. Elsewhere, just the guns are hitting the marks for all players here in P100, and despite what looked to be a sort of fairly even start to the match, Pulse are just sort of letting it slip away, really. We've seen some isolated moments of brilliance, Jack particularly getting 3 nade kills now on the match. Really just good job with that utility, but they can't really convert it into wins. They're struggling with these roam clears as they are struggling with these executes. There's not really a single sort of consistent bit of success I've honestly seen from Pulse here, so they're really going to have to up everything here. Flores being brought by Beans could potentially deal with some of their problems. It will likely be used to just directly counter the Azami, destroy some of those barriers, give them an easier time on site, having to deal with a lot less those angles, but still, only one set of nades being brought again could drastically sort of just, it can't enable them to deal with as many of these positions as they would with a more conventional lineup.
That is very true, but I mean, those are nades on Jack, and right now, 3 out of his 4 kills, I think, are from nades, so, I mean, if he's gonna be the only one with nades, I mean, it's still gonna be him, as Nerd already being a bit more aggressive on this big tower. I don't think anyone's coming there, but still could get someone from that position if Team Pulse are not careful. Now, just with the mute jammer, mutes one of the floor shows. He only gets 4. That's one of them gone, just for free, not dealing any damage. But the mute jammer will get taken out by Jack's nade. And now, Breach is also being open. And Vod gonna still play on this aggressive position on couch. He's not gonna get droned out. Then he's gonna do a lot of damage. He will get droned out, but he still keeps this position. Will P100, I mean Pulse, read into it, or will Vod maybe get away with this?
Yeah, that shotgun is so lethal in the close range, and you can see there's a lot of hesitancy from Pulse. No one really wants to peek that. Nade goes out, they think the position is clear. That's not the case. Beans sacrificed to Fod there, and he's still just holding this position. Cobra takes down Jack. It's actually a direct trade, but Fod, he's still being an absolute nuisance on this breach. Caesar as well just compounds the woes of Pulse as Benz. He's now just trying to find a way in. Peeks that trophy door, actually ends up taking down Fod as Jinky falls as well. It's 2 versus 2 now. Nerd swings, whiffs shots as Caesar's below. Could maybe catch Benz off, Dicker off guard here, but the attack seemed to be coy to his position. The explosive had to have come from somewhere, obviously, so Nerd alone on site. If the attack haven't read into it, Dicker nearly taken down through the floorboards with a couple of missed shots from Caesar. Now that puts Nerd in a much worse situation because they now know they have a 2 versus 1 on site. But a little bit of indecisiveness comes the way of Pulse. They don't really know where to go. Benz has just been holding that angle as Caesar has now returned to the site. Can use that Warden gadget to see through the smoke grenades and hold this tight angle on the hatch. Nerd takes down Dicker, and the attack very much seems to be out of it here. Caesar swings, doesn't get taken down. In fact, Benz dies for his troubles, and another round on the defense for P100.
That had 2v4 going as a 2G, that is a very scary moment for P100. As, if you would have lost that round, that would have been devastating for them. But now, it's 1-5 for them. They definitely won the defensive half and are looking quite powerful on their attack. And this might be another 7-1 here. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a bit more of a closer matchup here, but from what it looks like now, P100 are looking like they're gonna get away from this match with 9 points in their group standings. I mean, before that, they still need to win 2 more rounds.
Yeah, we've seen I think actually in the past sort of 5 matches of ESA Cup, we had 1 6-0 half and then sort of 4 5-1 halves to start it off. So there's not honestly been a lot of close matches here, really, or at least close halves. We've seen just sides running away with it. So it's all up to Pulse here to claw back that disadvantage. 4 rounds is still
10
doable.
seconds to go.
They're on the defense of Oregon, so they could potentially find a sort of streak of luck here.
5
But
seconds to go.
as we were talking about, P100 have just looked really unstoppable. They've looked very coordinated. Their gun skill has been very good. Their usage of utility has been very good. And now we're seeing a totally opposite sort of lineup here. 6 nades being brought from P100. They're just trying to completely clear every angle here. Those vision blockers are likely not going to survive very long just with the amount of utility being thrown at them.
Fun as well with the flashes. Really gonna assist in burning the ADSs from Ben and allowing those nades to go through, or they might just go from below as the site. I mean, most of the floor there is destructible and nadeable, but for that, P100 are gonna need to have a lot of intel onto where these defenders are located. Right now, they're concentrating on just getting into this first floor. Doesn't seem like anyone is playing here apart from, I think it's AJ. Yeah, AJ playing on stage of meeting, and he hasn't been shown out. I think he'll be shown out now by Caesar. Yeah, he does. Now they know where he is. Oh, what a shot from AJ onto Fod. That is a flick and a half on sticks. That is insane. 6, and that's the door could be off the board as well. No calls have been used, so that's a lot of utility there just gone for P100. I think I just realized from they might have just expected doing a call and then making sure that defenders just stay in one place while they're taking the call and then just sneak it from below. That might have been the strat, but they won't be able to play that. And still, the defenders playing on the few concrete spots that are in sight. But still, AJ is still in meeting. Oh, that's get taken out by Jinky with assistance from Caesar. But now 4-4 and 1 minute on the clock. Still no ingress into the actual site has been made.
Yeah, the good news here for P100 is they have a lot of nades left. Still 3 sets to those nades. The bad news is their intel on site is lacking. We saw a lot of blind throws just through the floorboards. As I say that, Jack almost taken down. The nade is just a bit off the mark, but Beans isn't so fortunate. Taken down as Caesar gets another. And now, once again, this round is just slipping in favor of P100. It's a story we've told so many times. It starts off close, but P100, when the execute comes to it, they just all collapse in on the players of Pulse. It almost goes wrong. Benz gets to his credit a nice double kill to end that off, but Sync, your nerd, just takes him down there at the end, and P100 are on match point. We could potentially be seeing another 7-1.
That was a pretty scary moment there at the end with that end
they were
kill
just
cam.
sprinting.
They just... Why are you sprinting, Bio? They just lined up. Oh, that really confused me. I mean, Caesar knew where he was, but he just sprinted out. I don't know. But still, yeah, still, round 1 is a round 1, and now on a match point, Pulse, if they want to still be in it for maybe a point, they need to win 5 rounds in a row. They go back to the top floor site. They're gonna try to do this again. It's not that great. AJ, they wasted a lot of time on the bottom, but the rest of the team could not clean it up. And now, hopefully they're gonna do it again, but this time a bit better. Otherwise,
AJ needs support on that ground floor.
Yeah.
You gave up so much control once AJ was killed there. It led to just all those vertical nades. It made sight very unsafe for the defense. So you really need to just bolster your roam down there a bit. And from looks of things, Beans and Dicker are there. They've reinforced that wall and mute jammed it, in fact. So we're likely going to see a permanent sort of roamer in kitchen, just holding down that area. AJ, meanwhile, is hunting drones off in garage. Drone doesn't quite slip away from him, as that's a little bit of utility already wasted on the side of the attack. Fenrir being brought again. Still, operator that's finding mixed results. Didn't particularly find much that previous round, but P100 did use it pretty well, to the operator's credit. As Caesar, he's just marching all the way through small tower. He's almost taken dining, encroaching upon kitchen. 3-place drone comes out and sees that position is clear. So despite all that utility being used there, the attack can still very easily just wander in. There's no one even holding the hatch at Hot Next. What is this?
That's very questionable. I mean, White Beans does rotate back here, but if if Caesar was a bit faster on getting into kitchen, he might have just gotten that for free. But now they can, and that's a kill, and that's no one remaining in the kitchen. And now the breach Ian is being opened. The meat jammer not doing much here for the side of Pulse. And now with a man down 4-5. The score is looking a bit dire for them. I mean, anything is possible still. It's not the end of the world, but bottom floor control is now fully taken by P100. Even faster. A minute 30 on the clock. I mean, they won with a minute left. Very, very, very confidently. And now, they have even more time to
Bomb located by attacker.
play with. I mean, it could also bring a bit of confidence for them as Fod does find Dicker just swinging big window. Now a 3v5 situation. Oh, things are just looking worse and worse.
Far too much aggression from Pulse here. Dicker wildly swinging that double window, as you said. Benz is now in trophy. He's got a lot on his plate here. He really has to keep that side of the map locked down. AJ and Jack on the other side. As Benz, he's taken down. His job has failed. AJ slaughtered as well. It's not going to be a flawless as Jack picks up one. But with the rest of P100 marching towards him, Nerd gets the final kill into Attic, and that's another 7-1.
What is with this? 7-1 again. At least a different map, but wow, it was absolute domination by P100 of Pulse. Just cannot answer, cannot get anything against them. And that was very quick. I think that was even quicker than our bang game.
Could well have been.
Really felt like
there were a lot of early rounds there that were just total slaughters. We promised there will hopefully be some closer matches here. We have a third one lined up in just a while, so we'll throw to a break. But everyone, please pray for something other than 7-1.
It should be better. We'll see you very, very shortly. We're back yet again with the final match of today. The Yacht versus Tropics. The middle of the pack, the middle of the group, I should say. The two teams they're tied on points, but the only thing separating them is the round differential. Yacht on -1 round differential, and Tropics on +1. Not much separating them, so it might be a close match, but who knows? Should have been close with Project 100 and Team Pulse, but clearly it wasn't. Will I try and continue? Will we get a 7-1, or will this be a bit more exciting? What do you think, Google? Yep, we do. And the viewers think that could go anywhere. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, surprisingly, exactly 50-50. I was really surprised when I saw that. So
I've been muted the whole time.
Ubo, come on.
I'm going to blame production, even though it was my fault.
Hey,
a very close match,
production.
though. That's all. I was saying a lot of genius things, saying how close it would be. and I'm just excited to get into it.
Yep. I mean, let's see the map bans this time. I mean, you did say it wasn't Oregon, but it's gonna be. It works and it's Clubhouse.
Love me a bit of Clubhouse. I know people don't like sort of Oregon Club because they see it so many times. I don't care. I love the way Clubhouse plays. I think it's a really entertaining match, and it has the potential to be very close for these two teams.
Yeah, and it definitely has evolved with the new operators coming out. We've seen some new strats. I mean, with Azami, of course, she's been really, really powerful on this map. So I expect her ban, but who knows? Well, we could just jump straight into the game, shall we? See what
I think
is gonna.
the lobby's ready. So
Yeah, should be ready, and it should be able to go in.
uh,
Oh,
I believe we're
oh,
having a little bit of technical difficulty there, but we should be getting into the lobby in a second. We just had a little bit
oh,
of an error in that sort of custom game, but all the players are ready. It's just a case of getting
yeah,
them in that lobby. So we'll just have to waffle on a bit longer. I could maybe repeat some of the points I was saying while I had
yep.
allegedly muted myself. Uh, it's mainly just the fact that this could go anywhere. This is very unpredictable. On paper, it should be close. On paper, those previous two matches should have been close, though, and they were total blowouts. So we could see a 7-1 here. We could see an 8-7, really. Clubhouse, it leads me to believe that maybe we could see a more even matchup. But you would also say the same of Oregon, and that just snowballed in favor of P100. So really, I just don't know. It's a total mystery how this match should play out.
I mean, the viewers are definitely even right so far. I mean, their predictions were definitely on point so far. Penta would win first match, Project 100 would win second. I mean, now they're very conflicted, so well, could continue also as well. Could also be a very close match. We just need to wait and see. I mean, Clubhouse is definitely going to be exciting to see how it's going to be played out. Yeah, it's as I said, there was a lot of changes coming out on it. Maybe we'll see even some Fenrir being played, being
Maybe.
effective
I
on it.
mean, you could bring Fenrir for positions like that tunnel. There's a lot of sort of sharp angles, bottom main as well. So we could potentially see that new operator. A bit of info. Yod did actually end up 7-2ing Eternal Synergy on Clubhouse. So sort of in the recent history, they are slightly favored on this map. But Eternal Synergy have also maybe not been the strongest opponent so far. They're currently 0-3, a lot of quite bad losses as well. So that doesn't really say much when you're comparing Yod and Tropics as well. Tropics got off to a slightly slow start, 7-3'd by Penta, but they responded with another 7-2. So these are two teams that are actually coming off of sort of an initial loss and then bouncing back with a very dominant win. That being against Pulse, who were also sort of flattened this week. So it's honestly not a lot to go off with those previous results because they weren't necessarily up against the strongest opponents in their group.
Yeah, I mean, they did play one team, both of them. They both played Pulse. Yod lost against them, Tropics won against them, and they're both complete blowout games. I mean, for different teams. 7-1 was a blowout for Pulse. They won that match, and then they blew out against Tropics. Tropics won that one 7-2. So maybe, who knows? But now the match is ready. We should be getting straight into it with Clubhouse and with the bans on the operators. That's going to be interesting to see what teams will come up with. Hopefully, they're going to be a bit different. We've seen Monty band, we've seen Ying band.
Surely we get a Nook ban here. Surely. I've been hyping up the Nook bans, saying how common they are all day, to be met with no Nook ban. I'd imagine Nook ban. Also, another Monty ban isn't out of the realm of possibility, but it's actually that other shield operator, the OSA, being taken out, and that's honestly quite interesting to me. I can see the sort of usage with OSA on CCTV, and that's really the only site that I think she's particularly strong in covering. So that is potentially a target ban at a particular strategy. The second attacking ban coming through will finally be that Nook. I finally got it right. Nook, it can be a particular nuisance on this map. There's a lot of there's only sort of 2 stairways, but it can be very easy to just lurk up them. There's positions that are kind of reliant on those stairways being secure, so that gadget that Nook provides can make it very easy to go there. So the defense just don't want to deal with that. Azami being taken off the board, another almost kind of comfort thing. Azami, incredibly overtuned. The ability to place down those 5 barricades is sort of completely just revolutionary to the defense. It can allow for so many more positions to be played. So the attack just don't really want to deal with clearing that out.
Finally, Capcan, which is quite an interesting ban. I mean, as well, probably a comfort ban if Tropics don't want to just look under the legs and check the doorways. I mean, it's really unfortunate if you get down by a Capcan. That is
it
really
can be
tilting.
annoying.
Yeah.
We're seeing that Monty being brought this time. So first time of the day, not been banned and immediately been picked by Kiax. And that's probably going to be directed at Dirt, or there is the off chance it is picked expecting something like a CC defense and it will be swapped. But I'd imagine it would be for clearing Dirt, maybe for clearing Blue, although that's much riskier as there's multiple avenues to sort of wrap around the Monty. The good part of Dirt is it's very linear. You can just push that Monty in. There's not a very high chance he'll be backstabbed or flanked or anything. And that is likely where we'll be seeing him. Talking of 6-picks though, or repick, not 6-pick, Hibana will be brought in place of the Monty just for those hatches, which potentially does suggest that this is a lineup that was brought for one of those top floor sites. Ace as well being changed out for the Gridlock, which is interesting. I would imagine that Sen has hard breach charges, as he does, so there is still a secondary form of hard breach, but it's a lot less versatile than the Ace. It's those hard breach charges on the books, so still there is a sort of contingency if Snows is taken down early, but it's quite risky.
Relect already being on very low HP. I think it was a bit of a friendly fire from, I think Sammy was making a rotate. Really unfortunate there. Taken down to is it a 30 HP or 40 HP there. But it does appear that you were right. They're really pushing Dirt with Monty, but there's gonna be a bit of utility there with that shield and the Goyo canister. It's gonna be no nuisance for them, as first one also already being popped. It's quite rapid there. As you see, Rise also rotating down, back into sight with Scrim hot in his tail on Blue Stealth already, trying to get their first pick early, but cannot succeed. And already hedges are being popped with only a minute of being gone. That is really fast to open up the hatches on Clubhouse. Not much of a roam presence being brought from the side of Tropics.
Yeah, it looks to be that 5-man basement defense, and Kiax is finding just such a difficult time here. It looked like he was abandoning tunnel entirely. We saw him briefly rotate away, but he's back, ready to challenge this Tachanka. But with 14 Molotovs in pocket, it's going to be incredibly hard to make that ground. Sen, meanwhile, though, does make a bit of ground, takes down Config on the pulse, and that really opens up the attack here. There's no longer that threat of the live intel being brought. There's still a Nitro Cell in the mirror, but it will have to be thrown blind. Senzi throws down those EMPs as well as the track stingers just to block a little bit of movement, as it seems like that Monty is still pushing down Dirt, but there's just so much utility there to deny him. The Tachanka still has the double-digit Molotovs and Snows. It's just pushed into sight. It's a very fast execute here with nearly a minute left, and the kills most seem to be going the way of the attack. Relic gets one, and it looks like the Tachanka has also been caught from behind, possibly, so the Monty maybe being a distraction as Sam is just left in that 1 versus 3 on the mirror. He has the Nitro Cell. There's no chance of him denying the plant, and as soon as that case goes down with a Monty on the board, this is practically an attacking round win.
The Monty just need to not over-aggress. That's the downfall of most plant situations here. If the Monty goes too aggressive on the Mira, that's going to be the downfall of him. But not to worry, there's still Scrim on the top of the hatch, and Sammy does not know where he is. And Kayak just doesn't even need to fire a single shot, knifes him with the shield, and that seals the round for Yod. That's the first round for them, and that attack went really well, although that execute was a bit chaotic. Still,
Yeah,
went the way of
yeah.
Yod.
It very much seemed like the Montagne was actually just a total distraction. You just keep buying the attention of the dirt player. It gives you a lot more freedom when pushing into that site. You likely don't have to worry about that angle because it's very rare more than one player will be there. So immediately that's one point of contention just knocked off the board. You can
Attackers
try
need
and
to
take the
locate and
gunfights,
defuse
and
as many
it
bombs
worked
as
out
they
well
can.
around blue. The attack quickly flooded the site as Slung was just taken completely off guard from behind. And Kayak can finally manage to get into sight, although it was pretty funny just watching him be stalled out constantly by the Tachanka. Nevertheless, he still got the job done, and we're seeing the defense try and just redo this strategy down here. Potentially going to see a little bit more of a roam game. Rise on the Warden. It's a much more of an aggressive operator. You get that 1.5 scope, but still, the rest of these picks are surprisingly static. You've still got the Tachanka for
10
dirt,
seconds left.
you've still got the mirror, you've still got the pulse. None of these you'd really expect to be off-site, so it's just up to Relic and Rise there, but even so, Relic might just choose to stay on site with that Goyo just to hold down the angles as well. So if Tropics choose to go for a 5-man basement defense here, they might just fall into the same problems that hit them in that first round.
It's Rise going for a bit of an aggro play. Right this time, I'm not sure that he knows, but Rise decides against it. Decides to not go for the jump, although it could have been a free kill for him if he would have done it just a bit earlier. I mean, doesn't have the intel for that, as you see there in the distance coming down main stairs already. Making his way down, Scrim with the drone, being droned in, getting control of the top floor. They know no one is roaming top floor. Still, Rise roaming downstairs. He gets droned out. Now they know where he is. Scrim gets a bit of damage from somewhere. Probably Relay on main stairs, going a bit more aggro here. Tropics wanting that first pick badly to ensure a bit more safety for them, and a bit more comfort in their defense. But so far, not really succeeding, trading 1-for-1 as Kayak, who just goes really aggressive on the Monty, jumps through the shield and pushes out the Chunka fully away from Dirt, but now is suffering for that and gets taken out by Relec. 3 guns onto him. That's the Monty gone. No pressure from Dirt left. That's the crucial first pick that Tropics really wanted.
Yeah, and it's kind of the opposite problem of that previous round. Kayak's, he's just too fast there. There's no support for him, really. Once he makes up that ground as Scrim throws that nade, Rise narrowly gets away from it, but Scrim was also taken incredibly low by that gunfire, and this seems to be a push that is primarily focused around the blue in the kitchen tunnel being left completely untouched here as Senzi gets one onto Rise, finally finishing off that player. Scrim, though, still very low, playing nades from this blue hatch, just wants to clear out the mirror window as Slum. He's still in tunnel, there's no Monty for him to deal with this time, so now that is another point of aggression you have to deal with on the attack as Sen. Also very low, playing these vertical angles. Slum taken down by Snows as Sen is playing a very dangerous game there, and he gets shut down by Config on the pulse shotgun, in fact. Snows in tunnel though, so he can start applying a little bit of pressure on the dummies. Flashbangs go out. Potentially a blinded defender, as Relic is just the only one left alive in this 1 versus 3. Another very efficient attacking clear at the end of this. Relic is just left alone, isolated by that Goyo canister even. His own gadget stopping him from denying the plant. A lot of gunfights he has to take here. He can try and isolate them as a 1v1 engagement. Scrim is down, but he can't connect onto Senzi, and that's another attacking round going the way of Yod.
That blue push and dirt push is really synchronized, really well done by them, using the flashes to flash the player on box, and the blue player collecting him. That was really nicely played by the side of Yod. But now Tropics saying, you know what, maybe downstairs is not our good site. They go Cash and CC, and here is usually where the Monty shines when clearing that catwalk position, which is really crucial if you want to take from garage, from main breach, you get inside and plant. That is the position that you kind of need in order to advance to the site. But right now, now they read into it. They got the site, and now they're switching up their composition. going for the double hard breach that you're criticizing. Well, I don't remember the team that was playing previously that they did not bring the double hard breach. Now could have been bad for them this time. Yod, bring both of them.
10 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, and that just it allows the attack to be so flexible. You can keep that thermite on the platform just to deal with that CC breach. Meanwhile, Ace, he can get the construction breach if need be, potentially breach a garage wall, just to get a bit more pressure onto the catwalk. And the catwalk is surprisingly quiet at the moment. No defender here yet, and they're quickly running out of time to put someone there. As Kayak, he's slowly marching forward. If a defender's going to be there, it needs to be there now. Relic finally on there. In fact, jumps down. Config, I believe, is going to be taking the catwalk, as well as, for a second there, Rise also joined the party in garage. Kayak, he has to be careful here not to get too aggressive like he did last round. But he's just going to be scouting out for intel here. He knows there's a player on the catwalk, potentially sees another one in lounge, and all this intel is going to be very good at informing the attack on the overall roam presence. You have 2 men accounted for, another one on main here, so you can very quickly build a mental map of the defender positions.
And for the position on the main, taken out by Can with the Gridlock LMG. That's the OMI off the board, and his Magnets also off the board. Of course, they charge up over time, so that's gonna be not available anymore as Rice gets a bit of damage from a nade, I think from below by Scrim. Doesn't collect him entirely, but that's 50 HP off of him. Still, Catwalk being played by Config, but not a lot of pressure coming out on him. And there's still Monty just staring down at him, and one wrong move from Config, and Monty could bounce on it. What now? Maybe go for a breach, maybe not. As Snows decides to go somewhere else, I guess. No, there's still 3 AMPs left in pocket, but 2 of them are on the Monty, who is already pushed up here. Who gets a bit aggressive onto Config, and now, oh no! That's Kayak off the board, and that's the catwalk position secured for now, if no one goes for it. But it does appear to be that Yacht are rotating down into construction here, as another one, Snows, takes out Rise. Now 43 situation.
Total lack of support. Total lack of support for Kayak there. He gets picked off in the 1v1, but elsewhere, Snows is making it work. Gets one, potentially just going to swing onto Config, who's none the wiser. And now the Thermite is given sight control, but not for long. A trade goes by, but Sen gets another. It's up to Slut in the 1v3, caught reloading by Scrim. And once again, Yod, they come into a bit of adversity in that mid round. When it comes to the execute, they are explosive, they are snappy, and they win it.
Yep, Snows on the Thermite. Not afraid, although he's playing that hard breach role. Not afraid, he saw the opening. He saw that he could just jump into that window. He said, you know what? I can. Jumps in, gets the pick. Nearly gets a second one there. Just wasn't able to. But still, that was crucial by him. Really well done. And now Tropics again going for basement. And their team composition changed a little bit now. Pulse. They're not playing Pulse anymore. They picked, I think, Mute instead of him. But largely unchanged. And is this the play for Tropics? Is it the strat that is holding them back, or is it just their over-aggression or under-aggression?
I just think Tropics need to be roaming more, and I think the real ball and chain in this lineup is the Tachanka here. He's just so slow, not very mobile at all. His gadget is really just cumbersome to use. You need something a bit faster. Maybe consider bringing something like the Warden, like maybe even the Alibi, just to have a good gun. Even Mozzie. Mozzie has that 1.5. He's not banned like he has been in a lot of other matches. Just go for that full-on aggressive hold, because you're giving Yod so much space, and they are just taking it incredibly quickly, and it allows for them to scout out these clears very well, scout out the site, use their drones for a long amount of time, and then use all of that intel to just go for these incredibly aggressive pushes. We're not seeing the Monty this time. Instead, Kite will be playing that Flores just for that extra bit of utility burn. So Tunnel is going to be a lot harder position to take here. Tropics have really doubled down here, putting 2 players in this position as well. So if they're not met with a Monty, that could be a slight waste of manpower that could be used elsewhere, dealing with this Yod roam clear. Kayak will send a single Flora Stone in here that will likely give him all the intel he needs, that there's such an aggressive call being used here as Sam takes down that drone. I don't believe Relic was spotted though, so the element of surprise is still there for the Flores as Sam nearly loses his life. Just slight missed shots there from the side of Kayak as another drone comes out.
Trying to get the shield and potentially the Glow Canister taken off. He gets the shield. Glow Canister still there. Still could be used, but I mean, Kayak still has the 2 drones left. And yeah, there goes the Glow Canister as well. And that's all the utility off the board in dirt. It's going to be a bit more difficult for Sammy to hold it.
A bomb has been located.
And still, Kayak appears to be pushing that position. But speaking of the rumors, Rise still playing in cash, and it doesn't appear that Yoda read into it. If not cleared that top floor position, Rise could be pivotal here. He could make a lot of damage to Yod's attack. He just needs to get really good timing here, or else at good position could be wasted. But I think there's still snows upstairs though, if I'm not mistaken, or
Attackers dropped
why
the
is that
diffuser.
deceiving me? I think. No, he's in the barge. Never mind.
But Rise, he has to strike now. The fight's
No.
going down on sight. He could just catch Snows here on that drone. Rise,
No.
come on, swing, man.
Oh,
Don't
no.
wait too late as Snows has now just dropped that moto hatch. The Execute's coming in. Stun. He's going to face just a torrent of abilities now. Kayak's taken down though, finally. Rise gets 1, gets 2. The
There it is.
flank is doing bits, but it's still a 2 versus 2. The trades have been good, but it looks like Yoda finally in the back foot. It's Sen alone in kitchen. Sammy just baiting out a peek perhaps on that tunnel, trying to just get confirmation of the hatch play, but Sen, he's not giving him. He's dropped, in fact. Isolates the 1 versus 1, and now it's doable. Rise alone on that ground floor, and Sen, he has the diffuser. He could plant behind this mirror window, giving himself so much freedom here, so much power. Rise drops the hatch. He's in Arsenal now. He's running straight for that diffuser, but the guess is wrong. Dummies is clear. Rise is actually by the window, and Sen wins it out 1 versus 2 with the case going down. Fantastic play from Sen. Gives Yod their 4th round in a row.
That was played to perfection there by Sen. Isolating the 1v1. He knew that the Chanka was in dirt, and he knew the other one was upstairs, that he needed to drop there. He needed to get the site. He needed to plan there. He had only 15 seconds left in time. He didn't panic. He isolated, as you said, isolated the 1v1 and just absolutely won Yod the round, and that's another round for them, and that's going to be devastating for Tropics. Their chance of a first round win gone, and for Rise, it's going to be bitter. He did a lot of work there with that flank, getting 2 crucial kills. That should have been a win. It should have been a win, but Tropic just able to capitalize. And I think Rise could have done more if he were just like a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
But
It was indecisiveness that cost Tropics that round, which is a kind of similar theme we've seen with a lot of defensive rosters. It's just, they don't know when to actually make the play, and Rise, fair play to him, there's no intel telling him that, it's really just to trust your gut feeling, but when you've gone undroned for that long, you need to start bringing the aggression before the execute comes in, or else it's just too late. Once that Hibana dropped the hatch, the flank was really dead. Rise did a good job getting the pick onto the Flores. But enough of that previous round. We're seeing a CC defense here, and strangely enough, no Montagny being brought this time. Kayak's on that Twitch drone just to deal with the wall, I'd imagine. Yep, 1 battery goes down, as does a second, and he does save the drone as well. That's a lot of effective utility usage from the attack here that should allow for a very quick win, as should Scrim's kill onto Relic there, as he's getting incredibly aggressive. Red Stairs should be taken unless Slum takes the fight first, but Scrim, he just sprints away. Almost gets caught with just his pants down, but nevertheless gets away, starts with the vertical work with those nades, but no more nades left actually, so really all he can offer now is a bit of intel with his gadget and his gun itself. Sen elsewhere droning onto the site. They've seen that Slun has retreated to the red stairs as this attacking aggression is incredible. They've already opened up this breach, and they're taking gunfights very early onto the defensive setup.
There's a beeper on that, that's why Scrim ran away there. He knew about his position, so he did not want to take that disadvantageous gunfight just yet. I think he was quite smart as he rotates back and gets another one as Rise caught with his pants down, finally taken out by Slun. still a 4v3 situation. Initially, no headholds from Cash into CC. So, from Cash, there's only one way to really deny the breach. That's from Cash. But still, there is a player sitting on... Oh, no, Snows.
What?
Oh, what a flash in his hand. Sammy going a bit more aggressive here. That's what Tropics needed. That was really nicely done by him. And now capitalizes Can. Takes out 2, and now the only one left on catalog is Config. Taking off really low and taken out whole by Kayak and the F2. Ah, that...
I'm just baffled. It almost seems like Tropics are just cursed in this matchup. They do everything right. They respond with aggression. Sure, they lose that first pick, but they very much just seized the initiative, getting very aggressive, taking those picks, evening out the man count. They had good positions. You know, Catwalk is still under defensive control. So's Red, and then Sen just wipes them. It just seems like there's something cosmic out of their control that's affecting Tropics here, because Yod is getting away with things that they just quite frankly shouldn't. And now we're looking down what at best could be a 5-1 half, another 5-1 half, at worst 6-0. Yod, they're just building up a lot of momentum on this attack, and they've got their clubhouse defenses after this. They are setting themselves up for a very sort of decisive win here, especially if Tropics can't make this 4th attempt at the basement work out. We're likely going to see another roam game here, but they've kind of missed that opportunity. It was completely unexpected, caught Yod off guard the first time they did it, conveniently their 3rd time defending the basement. But now Yod will expect that. They will expect Tropics to be out in the map. We see Config and Rise here, likely going to be those 2 roamers, but they'll be met with a roam clear. We see a different lineup here, no Monty anymore, all guns for the side of Yod. And these roamers on Tropics could be met with a nasty surprise if the roam clear is just too strong for them.
I understand why Tropics aren't just going for these 2 sides. We have not seen Bar, we have not seen Bedroom, which Bedroom, I mean, has become a primary site in recent plays, but we're just not seeing it from Tropics. Maybe they're not confident on it. I don't know, but it does appear that they're playing a bit of a more of a roam game with Config and Rise being the roamers. I was expecting Sammy to go in a roam game, but he's still sitting in trench as he did with Chanka, but now this time with Legion. I mean, Lamaya on a roam, it's a question. He has 3 magnets in his pocket that could be used elsewhere, that could deny the 4 nades from Cannon. Scrim, who's already on the blue stairs, going down already completely uncontested. I'm not even aware of his position as Khan. It takes a lot of damage from Sammy playing in that basement.
Yeah, and I get the position from Sammy there. They're clearly scared of a Montagne push, but there's no Monty here, so yet again it's manpower that's sort of been wasted here. Sammy, unless he gets a kill here. So yeah, Sammy's dead. That manpower, that just presence was likely better spent elsewhere, but Config's getting very aggressive but shut down by Snows, so still man advantage in favor of Yod and a lot of control gained. They're really just knocking on the door of Tunnel, but Scrim gets taken down from behind by Rise, but Rise and Relic still left in this 2 versus 3. Tunnel control achieved by the attack. Bottom main achieved as well, but Sinzi doesn't check all his angles, taken down 2 versus 2. Tropics could finally be in for a round win now.
Especially as Yod is pushing down this one single doorway. Can they read into it? Yep, 1 is down. And the second one, and that's the round for Tropics. And another 5-1 half. Going, of course, the way of Tropics. But still, that's a round for Yod. Maybe start of a comeback for them. Now they just need, they just need 5 more rounds in a row.
It's still going to be very difficult. You've got to win 4 of those attacks in a row. Obviously, as we've just seen from Yod, it's not impossible, but Tropics are also the same team that lost 5 defenses in a row, so it's also not looking probable at all. We're going to be going back down to that basement immediately for the side of Yod. Scrim on that Oryx, which is potentially that sort of aggressive pick that the defenses have been needing. Valkyrie as well, just getting a lot of intel. So this is certainly a different setup. There's no real area denial like Tropics was so insistent on bringing in their defenses. You know, no Goyo, no Tachanka, not even a Legion being brought. So this is very much a sort of gunfight-focused lineup here with those mirror windows to sort of assist them, really. There's nothing really in the utility department other than those 2 Nitros that can be used to secure a kill here for the side of Yod. It's very much going to be on their gun skill, and to their credit, Yod have been fantastic with that gun skill. It's bailed them out of multiple of their attacking rounds here, so this is certainly looking like a recipe for success.
Sure does, and Yod this time bringing out, I think, a bit of a more of a roam game that we saw from Tropics with the Oryx. Definitely going to be on the roam, and potentially Valk, but she's just throwing those evil, not evil eyes,
Black eyes.
black eyes around the site for that intel and utility. But just now, Tropics approaching the site, joining themselves in, and it seems like many are going for a top floor push. Config already making his way into stock, taking map control very early in the round, which is good, but it doesn't look like they're taking top floor freely. They're going for maybe first floor to second floor roam clear, which I find really weird.
They're playing it risky here. They acknowledge that hatch is open in gyms, which immediately gives away that there is a roamer up there. The hatch in construction being popped as well is just another giveaway. So potentially the attack here aren't wanting to sort of force any gunfights here. That being said, Slun just fires an air jab out. It catches Scrim and Slun secures that kill. So now Kayak's going to be a little bit more sort of conservative with his life here. He can't afford to die, or else that will truly spell disaster for this roam. So he's pushing back down red, but elsewhere, Relic, that vertical player, is downed. Luckily for him, he's on that hard hatch, so he can be safely brought back as he places down that breaching charge, but still, there's a lot of damage dealt to the book, and he's going to be in a lot of sort of risky positions here on those vertical angles as Kaya. He's still being a very aggressive player here, all the way in stock, could even rotate into kitchen corridor and get a massive amount of damage dealt, takes down Rise, goes back, but cut down through the soft wall. But again, Senzi trades 3 versus 3, and Yoda's still very much in this round.
And a minute left with the mirror window still up and the intel coming out from the black eyes of the Valkyrie. That could spell a bit of disaster for Tropics if they don't play this right. But still, they have a minute left on the clock, and they just need to not stall out this attack that we've seen the downfall of teams round after round, game after game, stalling out. That could spell disaster, but it does appear that they are doing a bit of that. Nothing really happening here. Everyone just holding angles passively, which as an attacker, you need to be going in, taking those fights, getting those picks. But it doesn't appear that they're doing anything right now.
Yeah, Slun on those bottom main stairs just gets taken down, and the attackers just feed themselves into Yod's weapons. A lot of just sort of decision making there on where they should push, but none of the avenues seem to be safe at all, as every single one of them just gets cut down. And, well, look, it's kind of like deja vu. We're at 6-1 again. Yod potentially could bring us to our third 7-1 of the day. They've looked unstoppable so far, really, as they're going to Gym Bedroom. First time we're seeing it on this map. So immediately it's a sort of unknown quantity between these two teams. Tropics seem to be reading into it, though. They've brought that Maverick. It will help them deal with those 2 sets of external walls that are kind of necessary to push onto this site. We're likely going to see an eastern extension here as Snows goes to likely just bolster up that half of the map on that Jaeger, reinforcing walls, placing down utility. This is all going to be down to the roam clear for Tropics here. If they fail that roam clear, Yod will certainly win this round. If Tropics spend too long clearing CC and cash, or even if they don't sort of touch it at all, if they go for a one-dimensional push here, I just can't see them winning. Yod have been fantastic with their gun skill on site. They've they've just demonstrated a great knowledge of positions to play on that site that will give them a highest chance of success. So Tropics, they really need to just deal with that roam head on, give themselves a good advantage early on, and just keep the momentum going.
Attackers
Well,
have discovered the
this
location
also
of the bomb. Attackers are heading out
they
to
don't
defuse
go
the
for a
bomb.
CCTV and treat it as a tertiary site, which that's not what happened to Tropics. Tropics really felt that CCTV was their primary site, and they, I think, lost every single round there. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
yeah,
I
they
do
only
believe
won
they
that
did.
basement. Yeah, so seeing that, Yod definitely going for the master, and Sammy maybe surprised that there's a meteor on this wall, and there's only 2 sets of EMPs from Config that they can use on the wall to help out on this breach, and their one set will be used as the CCTV wall is breached now. But now, Sammy needs to rotate to Jacuzzi, or else they're just going for this one-sided push, which it does appear that they're doing, which is kind of surprising. They're not opening up the Jacuzzi wall for that second point of entry, trying to save. Oh, trying to save their utility, but Snowy, flurry of kills coming in, and just kill after kill as Rise on a triple kill. Rise going absolutely insane for his team, as only Kayak and Scrim are left for a set of Yod. And Tropics look like they could win this one, as a minute 40 on the clock still left for them to get into sight. Scrim rotating back up the main stairs. Kayak also not in sight. Sight is completely clear right now, but I don't think Tropics are aware of this as of yet. They're still droning construction and trying to breach this mirror window. It's going really, really slowly.
Yeah, and especially when you consider, as we just saw there, that Jacuzzi wall is soft. You can just rotate Rise around there. It's not a very large sort of rotate at all. Just break that wall with your Sophia gadget. Immediately, you apply a lot of pressure towards the side of the site. But they've given the defense a lot of time to regroup here. Scrim was initially caught all the way in red stairs, and he gets a beautiful one-tap. Sammy just forces the issue, pushes in, kills Kayak, but Scrim, you can still win this, holding a slight off angle on this mirror window. If it's not read into, Sammy will surely pay with his life. But also, there's no diffuser on either of those attackers. There's going to have to be a slight bit of a rotate just to pick up that case, force a win condition there, unless you want to take the gunfight to Scrim, who's been fairly decent on it so far. Scrim, he rotates around. He's actually allowed to make that rotate. Luckily, Slun takes him down, and we're not seeing a 7-1 here on Clubhouse.
That could have smelled a bit of disaster for Tropics without the diffuser. I was wondering why they weren't planting, but why was the diffuser left? What is going on there? But looks like in the end,
Interesting.
yeah, Tropics do win that one, and it might be a comeback. It might be the start of their maybe a win streak for them and momentum going in their favor. But
Attackers
Yod
need
deciding to
locate and defuse
go
bombs.
back to this site and trying this one more time. As Yod going very similarly here, not really attacking too much. Kind of clearly feeling like just circumstances did not go their way. And this time they're gonna maybe do better.
Yeah, there was a very key issue with Yod there that round is they were just aggressing too much in those windows, and Rise on that balcony, that highway position, was just able to take them out one by one through those tight angles that do just tend to favor the person holding them. So if they don't really put themselves in positions that can be picked off from those windows, Tropics are actually going to have a lot harder of a time clearing this. We're strangely enough still not seeing a Thermite being brought by Tropics, which did slow down the overall pace of the clear because it meant EMPs had to be used on that wall. For those who don't know, the Mute Jammer has a spherical radius, which means if you can place Hard Breach high enough on that wall, you can just bypass the jammer completely. Ace can't really afford to do that though because his explosives are so small, which is why you would tend to see Thermites being brought for this roam clear, but Sammy is insistent on playing that Ace. In fact, 2 pieces of utility being used just on that wall alone, nowhere near the site, so that's a heavy utility investment just to begin this roam clear. That means that one of either construction or Jacuzzi can't be opened, which could cause serious problems for the attack later on in this round.
Jacuzzi's still soft as well. The same strand they're going for as Flash is being thrown and Scrim on the red stairs, forced to go a bit down, but no! He gets another pick. Kayak gets another one for himself as well. Sammy tries to even it out. Cutting back on
Attackers have located a
Snow
bomb.
here. Still a 4v3 situation in the to the advantage of Yod. And Relec this time playing on these windows and getting quite a bit of damage. But oh, does retaliate by Atkan with the nade. Scrim deciding to rotate back to side through main stairs, and now finding themselves in the same kind of situation here as wait,
Oh,
what are you doing? Config
oh,
just sprints at the mirror window and finds himself
Oh,
dead at Kayak on
no.
a triple kill, and now a 1v3 for Relec. What is going on? And that's
and
it.
Scrim just runs out, gets that final kill, and it may not be a 7-1, but it's still a dominant win for Yod on Clubhouse here. They just slaughter Tropics there, and that's going to do wonders for them in these group standings.
Definitely will. I'm really confused as to what Thatcher was doing. I mean, clearly the ace threw the sandwich charge to try to get the wall, but clearly Thatcher had different ideas.
Yeah, and the whole reason you bring that Thatcher is for the bigger radius of the grenades, right? It's not those little impact EMPs. You can afford to not be as precise with them. So Thatcher doesn't actually need to expose himself there at all. But he does, and just gets cut down, as does the ace there, and that really just spelt certain doom for Trobix clan in that entire map, really.
I mean, that just baffled me. That
Yeah.
moment there.
And,
Clearly some what's it called?
Yeah, it has been a strange day. There's
Yeah.
unfortunately not been any really competitive matches there. 7-1, 7-1, 7-2. We can assure you it's not always like this. We do have some banger matchups here on ESA Cup, and you might well see them because we're back tomorrow, I believe, with Group A matches.
Yep, we're definitely gonna be there. So we'll hope to see you there, and hopefully you still enjoyed today's stream. Although the matches weren't as close as we would have hoped for, and not as close as the viewers would have hoped for. Still, the 50-50 did not signify anything, and on
Yeah.
paper did not do anything either. So I'll see you again tomorrow, hopefully. So goodbye.
Bye-bye.